Welcome to Cyber UK TV. We're delighted to be joined by Tara Wisniewski from ISC2. Now, Tara, tell me, what are the key areas that cybersecurity professionals need to know about in the evolving cybersecurity domain?
So the most important thing that we've been thinking about and working on as the leading professional body for cybersecurity professionals is, what does the future look like? What does it mean for a quickly evolving regulatory and legislative environment where the risk environment is getting more complex, and at the same time, both the regulatory and legislative environment are also getting more complex. And so cyber professionals are thinking about how do they do their jobs and navigate such a complex compliance environment. And so that's something that we are spending a lot of time advocating about and just kind of raising awareness around what that environment looks like and how actually an overly complicated environment can potentially make us less secure.
And what are the key policy trends that you think are evolving the fastest or changing the quickest?
Oh, great question. For us, there is certainly we are seeing a proliferation of national strategies and also quite a bit of different attempts around the professionalization of the sector. And so that is something that we are thinking about and working on. But we're also seeing in that, so there's a professionalization of the sector as cyber moves out of IT into the business. And in that, so there's a lot of workforce development that needs to happen. And certainly we think that there's really a call to action around innovative workforce strategies. Really, the traditional strategies are not working. But it's also some of the trends that we see. So there's this professionalization, potentially a move to some licensure. And what we think is also a trend, and we think and hope is a trend on the horizon, is really around global harmonization and mutual recognition of different schemes around skills development.
And just on the need to be innovative in terms of workforce planning, what are the things that employers of the future should be doing?
So the cyber workforce gap is significant globally. There's not a single jurisdiction that is not impacted by it. And so around what that workforce gap looks like and what people need to be thinking about is, what are the right skills that people actually need? And how can, in terms of innovative workforce strategies, where we really see a big problem is in early career and actually moving people into the sector. So out of all the jurisdictions where we see a lot of focus on workforce, focus on how do we get more people into the sector, what we are still seeing is that people with little to no experience are still struggling to get in. And so industry needs to come to the table. And there needs to be really collaborative, government needs to come to the table, industry bodies like ISC2 need to come to the table, and industry to really kind of crack that problem. Because then if we're not bringing people in, then we have struggles with retention, you have struggles with people kind of staying with it, and that will just exacerbate the workforce gap.
Well, it's certainly one of the subjects we're discussing at Cyber UK
Yes.
This year. So really good to hear that theme. Why do you think the harmonization of standards is really important in critical national infrastructure?
So we believe that this is actually, cyber is a global issue. There's global currency here. And harmonization not only is really important for just, I think, meeting the sector where it is, but it's also really important in terms of, I think, amplifying what a really truly secure cyber posture. And that, again, is a kind of global issue. Sometimes you'll hear government agencies say, well, if we're 80% there, that's good enough. When you hear from industry, they say, I can't comply with 80%. I have to comply with 100%. And so the harmonization piece becomes really critical to just a resilient business. And certainly for areas like critical national infrastructure. Actually, just this morning, in one of the opening panels, there was a discussion. Claudia Plattner from BSI in Germany was talking about a local cyber attack that actually affected the ability for people to
Get married.
Right. And, you don't think about that. That's certainly something, but that really, when cyber starts to really affect people's daily lives, that's why things like harmonization are really important.
That's a really good point. So we're obviously here in the UK. What do you think the UK's role is in driving forward a cyber policy agenda?
I think the UK has been a leader for some time now. And certainly the UK was one of the first jurisdictions that actually had a fully funded national strategy and has really continues to see that strategy through. And so I think that that's in that leadership. And also we've been part of an alliance we are a founding member of the UK Cybersecurity Council. And what we really appreciate about the council is it really is trying to push the limits and try new things. And sometimes it's a bumpy ride, but actually we appreciate that the UK is willing to kind of put the stake in the ground and actually, be a leader. And within, not only is a leader in terms of what a national strategy might look like, but also in the UK, people are well aware of the global environment and really active in that environment, and we think that that's also a really important role and really needed. There's so much happening. It's such an exciting time for cyber, but it's also a really critical time. And so, not only there are multiple conflicts around the globe, but this year we will see 63 elections in 63 jurisdictions. Things lots of change afoot. And so now is certainly, I think, a shining time for cyber.
And finally, what's your highlight been of Cyber UK so far?
It's great to see so many people that we work with every day. I think there's a really exciting lineup. And what we always appreciate about this event is just it's really, really tight and has the right group here.
Tara, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. You have a great day.